Namaste, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. We are talking yoga and wellness for health, and today's topic is sinus. And it is an interesting sequence we're going to do because today, when we do some moves, it is all about sitting. So you can do this comfortably in a chair as long as our back is nice and supported, and going through some movements to help with our sinus. So there is quite a few different things to start with. Let's understand a little bit more about sinus issues and where the actual sinus problems can occur. So some of the symptoms that you might have is runny nose, itchy eyes, feeling congested or blocked through the head, which is also a very big one, sometimes headachy and things like that. You may also feel itchy. So sometimes it's not necessarily that runny, mucusy. Sometimes it feels a bit dry. So you could feel yourself itchy or itchy in the ears, or even sort of itchy behind the eye kind of area. So sinuses are there, all part of helping us eliminate. So helping us clear the channels and clear things that accumulate toxins, and also seasonal changes to pollution, to pollens and things like that in the air. So our sinus's job is actually to help regulate and cleanse the area. So one thing to recognize is those signs that I just mentioned we call them inflammation signs. So when your body is under some sort of inflammation response, it will act, okay? So a runny nose or watery eyes, it's your body's immune system. It's its way of saying, hey, I've got you. I'm going to look after you. The symptoms as such can be uncomfortable and sometimes irritating. But the thing to recognize with any kind of inflammation is it's our body's way of saying, hey, I'm looking after you. So sometimes we don't want to numb the inflammation, okay? Yes, we want to look at discomfort, elimination of those symptoms, but sometimes it's really important not to just block all the inflammation, because we need to listen to what our body's saying and what's going on. I just want to give you an example, just to go off track slightly, is think about when you have hurt yourself. If you have hit your arm or hit something, what happens? Your body will instantly go into a redness, or sometimes the heat, and then you may get a bruise, or even if there's a cut, thinking about the redness and even the mucus that will come. And without the mucus, that our body can't heal. If you've got a big cut on yourself, without the mucus, our body is not going to be able to sew that back together. So without the redness, it's our body's way of our body's way of showing that, hey, I'm putting all my marching men into this area to actually help you and to heal you. So that's a really perfect example of looking at why inflammation is actually can be a good sign sometimes. It's your body going, hey, I'm working. So the thing with sinus and symptoms of the sinus is that it's usually a symptom of more things that are going on inside, okay? And once again, with these segments, we're talking some really simple ideas of how to help with the symptoms. But should you have reoccurring problems or infections going on, please contact a healthcare professional like myself, so we can really tailor a plan for you to unfold why they keep happening. Okay, enough rambling on what it is, and let's get to the good stuff of how to actually assist us in times of those symptoms happening. So I have brought with me some essential oils, because as you know, I love working with essential oils. And I brought with me today some pine. Pine's a beautiful oil to help with the oxygen. It helps to actually open up the oxygen. The pine trees, it's a beautiful thing to think about. The pine forest and the pine trees breathe very similar to us humans. So we actually, we breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon, and most trees will do the opposite. So they breathe in carbon and breathe out oxygen. So when you think about being in nature, it's this beautiful effect of you and the trees having this rhythm of breath of in and out and helping each other. Whereas pine will actually breathe like us. So they have a really amazing constituent and aspects of the plant of working with oxygen levels. So even just smelling pine, it's so refreshing. It feels refreshing. So that's what we want to open up with the sinuses. And not a bad idea to actually clean with pine as well. So let's get away from all the chemicals. It's really easy to make some cleaning products using essential oils and some white vinegar and hot water. That's all I use in my house, is different oils. So when you are breathing in the environment, you're getting the therapeutic benefits to actually help you with some symptoms. So pine for breathing, eucalyptus, it's like, grandma's formula, so I always remember the eucalyptus in the diffusers and in the house. So once again, when you smell it, you'll smell the opening of your lungs and that refreshing feeling. The thing with eucalyptus though, it has the antiseptic property, so it is a fantastic way to actually help open up the sinuses and also get rid of any bacteria or anything in there that we don't really want it to be. So you can use eucalyptus on your body. So any essential oils, it's always good to use a base oil, so coconut oil or almond oil. I like to make balms. So this is Vibhuti Naturals, my range. This is actually a Breathe Easy balm. So I make different balms that you can use as a base ingredient if you're using oils. This one's particularly for helping us open up our lungs. So if we think of the old Vicks vapor rubs, everyone knows about Vicks. It's a balm with the eucalyptus and things in there, but it's also got a whole heap of stuff that you don't really want on or in the body. So let's try and work with some more natural products. So balms are really easy. I've got apricot oil and beeswax in there, and then all my essential oils. So using the oils onto a base or using my balm and putting it onto the chest or over the lip to help breathe. So if you're feeling congested with the breath, that's a really great one as well. But when you work with your chest, also work with the back of that area as well. You'll be absolutely amazed if you actually put these beautiful oils onto the back and onto the front, and even if you want to the sides, that it might be a bit too cooling for under the arm area, but just to really take off any pressure or any tightness in the breathing. That's if you have those symptoms of with your sinus. Some people do, because there's a link towards asthma and things. So that's a fantastic one to work with. The third oil I've put here is peppermint. Peppermint is very soothing, but it's also very cooling. So sometimes with those symptoms I talked of, the dryness and more of that itchiness, peppermint can actually be very soothing to that way. It's a cooling oil, so if you're feeling irritated and hot, then using a cooling oil can be very helpful for that as well. So there's some of my oils. Some herbs and also essential oils as well. Another one I love is thyme. Thyme is great. You can use it into your food, pop it onto your roast veggies or in your stir fries. It's also great as a herbal tonic for antibacterial and antiviral and things like that. Once again, symptoms, sinus is symptoms of sometimes some more things going on. So when we're having those symptoms, today is about helping with those symptoms. But if they're reoccurring, you may want to, check it out a little bit more, because there could be some other things going on that if we start treating those underlying factors, you're not going to have those symptoms anymore. So, okay. One beautiful idea is, if you've ever seen a Neti Pot. So in Ayurvedic medicine, we use Neti Pots. Now, very similar, forgive me, I'm not sure what they're called when you get them from the chemist, but you can get like a saline kind of pump action thing that you can put into your nose to clear up your nose. I'm not overly a fan of pouring a heap of things, or especially liquids, into the nose. So I find Neti Pot is the most amazing, gentle way of actually cleansing and cleaning out the nasal area. Just to remember, your sinus also sort of comes up and back here. And so what happens with the Neti Pot is it looks like a teapot, right? And so you are using some beautiful saline solution, salt water. So good quality salt and purified water. Always use purified water, and that's all you need. Now, only if you have had guidance from somebody to help you, then we could add some oils in, but please have some guidance around that, or give me a message. And we actually have the solution warm, and what we do is we actually put the end here to one nostril, and I'm going to do it so you can see, like, we're literally like putting it up. This is my Neti Pot, by the way. Putting it up, and we keep the mouth open and we breathe through the mouth. And what we do is we turn on the side. I like to do this outside or over the bath or the shower, and we tip it up, and the solution's going to go up, and then it's going to drip out the other side. And we do it slowly, and we do it for the whole solution on one side. And you need to breathe out from the mouth, like you'll just find your little rhythm there, because it feels a bit odd. And if you've ever had water up your nose, like when you go swimming, it's a horrible feeling. So we don't want that feeling, and sometimes those other squirty things can create that, and it creates more strain and stress. So you want it to be nice and relaxing, and this is why I love Neti Potting. So always do two sides. Even if you've got only one side that you're feeling is an issue, always balance, always do two, and it should only take a couple minutes to do both sides. So Neti Potting is my go-to, and not just from, I'm not somebody that gets sinus, but change of season, it's always nice to just clear things out. Up here, what I have found in my practice, and some areas that could be affecting sinus issues, is mold, or that damper environment. But mold's a big one of having sinus issues, or some sort of immune reaction going on. So maybe there's a viral or a bacteria or something happening. Fungus is another one that I find. If there's overgrowth of fungus in the body, then sinus symptoms will present themselves. So this is why I'm saying it's not always about treating the symptom, it's about finding what's going on so we can get rid of it for good. So Neti Potting, we've talked about balm, we've talked about oils. In regards to diet, stay away from your dairy. Dairy is a mucus producing food, so if you're feeling mucousy, we don't want any more mucus, so that's a good one to stay away from. Eating lots of berries and oranges and lemons to create a really good vibe in your vitamin C is very helpful. And always eating good plant-based foods is very good. Today we are going to do some yoga just on the face and with our hands, and it's not necessarily a yoga practice, but it's more about a lymphatic drainage. So let's get into it. We're just going to take a breath. It's always good just to come into deep breath. And so lymphatic drainage for our sinuses. to start with, we're going to grab two piece fingers with the hands. We're going to softly draw it down the side of the nose and right into, you will literally feel the spot you can dig into, and then we're going to pull it across the cheekbones. Notice I'm pushing quite hard, and then we're going to go to the side of the cheekbones and draw it down the side of the neck, and we're going to do that 3 times. Excuse me, I just pushed on my neck as I'm talking. Really firm. If you can go really firm, if you have any soreness in there, then you know that we've got some stagnant or some congestion going on in there, and that's what we're wanting to move. So it might be a little bit sore, and just take your time, but moving across the jawline and down the neck 3 times there. Beautiful. So with the same piece fingers, we're going to come to the top or middle of the eyebrow. We're going to push up. So once again, push quite firm, and then just going over the top of the eyebrows to the temples. We come up the second time and we go a little higher. So in the middle of the forehead and pushing over. And we go up to the top, the hairline, and pushing over. That's fantastic. Okay, so we're moving things here. Same piece fingers. If you need to stop and move your arms, and that's fine. Go underneath the ears, so it's like you're cupping the ears with your fingers, and we're going to push down nice and slow down the side of the jaw. So the ears are another symptom as well, is feeling a little congested or blocked through the ears. This is a good one there. And just coming down to the jawline. And I look funny because I'm pressing quite hard. Once again, you'll know your own pressure. And 3 times. So we've done the sinus and down the neck. We've done up and over the forehead. And now we've gone down the ears 3 times, okay? So now what we're going to do is actually bring your fingertips, so the 2 piece finger fingertips, back to the nose, and we're going to draw it down the nose. I'm just going to go like so you can see. We're going to draw it down, and then just stopping to the outside of the nose and holding here. And you can hold for 3, 2, 1, and let's do it again. So rather 2 fingers, I like 2, but you may want to just use 1. And then just holding to the side of the nose, 3, 2, 1, and again, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Soften the pressure, and then from here, we're just going to do like gentle little pumps just across. I just sniffled, so you can literally, I don't have sinus, but you can feel things starting to move. So we're wanting to go out and down because we're draining. So don't push it back in, keep pushing it outwards, and just little pressure sort of under that jawline there. Moving it, moving it, moving it. Great. And you can do that for as long as you want, really. And then we're going to come back up. So under the eyebrows here, we're going to use 2 fingers, whatever feels comfortable, and you're going to push. And as you push, you're going to look down. Now, if you are feeling really sensitive here, we know that we've got congestion there through the sinuses. So that's where Neti Pot would be amazing for you. So just gaze down or even close your eyes and just holding that point. And holding it as long as you want, but maybe a minimum here of about 5-6 seconds. And then from there, just gently, with your fingertips, just gently push onto your eyebrows as if you're giving a squeeze of the eyebrows. And then nice across here, go a bit softer this time, across the forehead, across the eyebrows, down the jaw, through the nose, down the jaw, through the nose, down here. And you can even give yourself a little bit of a rub through the shoulders. Simple. Very easy way just to help with some sinus symptoms, and some beautiful little offerings there. If you are interested in your essential oils or in all the products that I make, the Beauty Naturals is my natural product range, then jump onto my website and check it out. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time for yoga and wellness for health with me. Namaste.